Hey everyone, how's it going? Let's see if we can get this working. And I wouldn't be surprised if I can't. Let me know if you guys can hear me alright. If not, I will have to restart it. Here we go. Here we go. Alright, I need to paste it in a few different locations. Gearing up here. All right, what do you guys got? Someone says I'm in competition with Charles Hoskins's live AMA. You guys should probably watch him. He'll probably be saying stuff that's more pertinent. I guess I should say welcome back into the cryptoverse. I mean, we have a lot to talk about, right? I mean, the markets are alive. You know, Ethereum, our faithful portfolio allocation, continuing to do well. Link, I mean, give it a break, right? It's up, it's up from $1 in March to 16, 17, 18 bucks. So we've been covering Link since 2019. So this was definitely one, right? And it's not that it was really that hard to spot, right? What did we always say? We said, you know, this, right, for Link, as we have often said, is a trend that we want to be part of, right? Who doesn't want to be along for that ride? And really, you know, if you draw say like a kind of actually going on here, well, you can kind of see it. Wow, that's a bad drawing. You kind of see the curvature. I don't know. Anyways, you know, this move here, right, is a bubble for sure, right? We know it's a bubble. There's no question whether it's a bubble. The only question is how high can it go? I mean, this is the question, right? It's not if it's a bubble, it's how high can it go before it crashes. And remember, we've talked about Ethereum, you know, doing something similar, right, back in 2016, and you guys are most of you are very aware of that, right? When Bitcoin, after Bitcoin had been above the 20-week moving average, right? So if you just plot on that 20-week that we like to show, go back to when it got above the 20-week here, and go out, you know, it held the 20-week approximately 112 days later. And then if you look at Link, and then I guess we should actually go to see when Bitcoin crossed the 20-week here. In this cycle, it was April 27th or April 20th, April 27th-ish, and it's been about 105 days, right? And we talked about this. I mean, it's a similar time frame. The difference between right now and back here is that back here we were actually going down into the 20-week moving average. Currently, we're still moving away from it, right? We're moving away from the 20-week moving average. And so, you know, if you go back and look at Ethereum, right, back in 2016, once Bitcoin had been above its 20-week, for about 100 days, that's when Ethereum and we're not even going to take it. So October is when it first got above the 20-week, right? So if we go back and look, October here, this is when Bitcoin got above the 20-week. And Ethereum, that's when Ethereum made that first move. We're not even going to include that, okay? We're just going to take it from when it made the actual move, right? The real move, once Bitcoin had been above the 20-week for about 100 days, and it moved up 1,700%. And then with Link, you might almost consider that Ethereum's one market cycle behind Bitcoin, and maybe Link is one market cycle behind Ethereum. You know, these newer coins that are paving their way into the market tend to see better ROIs, you know, and then after this cycle, right, if Link does do exceptionally well, the next cycle it probably won't do quite as well, right? So this is the idea. So 1,700%, you go over to Link, and remember, we're not gonna cheat. We're not gonna take it from all the way down here, because if you did, you'd already be at 1,300%. What we're gonna do is we're gonna take it from when Bitcoin crossed the 20-week, and it was around here. So from there, it's up a modest 425%. And with respect to Bitcoin, which is really impressive, from April, right around here, so right, April 27th was it, or April 20th, somewhere in there. So let's take it right here. So from there, it's up around 250% against Bitcoin. So right, the question again is not is this a bubble? It's just how high will we go? And with Ethereum, remember, it went up, and certainly this was a bubble, right? But we did not drop all the way back down here, right? We went up 1,700%, and then we saw a 50 to 60% correction, right? And this is where people are going to get burned, right? We don't know if $18 is the top. It's possible that it's not, and it's possible that it goes to $25 and then it crashes by 40-50%. It's possible that it goes to $30 and then comes back down. So the question, right, is how high is it going to go? And it's honestly anyone's guess. But rest assured that there will be people buying every step of the way that are new, right? So fresh money, dumb money coming in. Sometimes dumb money gets lucky, right? Sometimes dumb money can do okay, but it's certainly more of a gamble than, say, like a long-term projection or a long-term investment. So if dumb money, I mean, there's no doubt about it, in my opinion, that money going into Link right now is dumb money, right? I mean, that's just what it is. The question is there enough dumb money to outweigh the smart money that's selling after they're up 10x, right, or more? This is the question, right? How long can the dumb money overburden the smart money? And it could be a while, right? So the question, right, is it going to keep going up, right? And then if it does, if it retraces, right? I mean, it's possible that it just retraces back down and then continues on, like something like that, which is similar to what Ethereum did, right? I mean, this is similar to what Ethereum did. It didn't crash all the way back down to $1. It started at around $1, went up to $15, and then came back down to $7. So it's just all about how high is it going to go before it starts to correct, right? And there's a chance that the top is already in, and by that I mean the local top, not the the bull market top, right? I mean, I just made a video the other day saying Link has a good chance of going to $100 over the next 16 months or so, right? Maybe a little bit less than 16 months. So obviously I'm bullish on Link. The question, right, is how, I mean, we know that this isn't going to be sustainable forever. It's just a matter of, okay, how high can it go before it corrects? And if you're not aware, what I do is I typically dynamic DCA. So you just kind of identify these different levels. I do it based on the risk metric. Wherever I'm just kind of drawing random lines, and you sell, right? You sell on the way up. Whether it's like 2x, 3x. Like, so if here you're selling, say, $500 of Link, or really it wouldn't be a dollar amount. It would be, let's say you sold 1,000 Link at this level, right? And then you sell 2,000 here, and then 3,000, 4,000, and 5,000. So again, and I know I'm kind of saying this a lot, right? But there's a lot of new people here. Um, so right, the idea is you continue to sell as it goes up, and then if it reaches this level, then you sell 3,000 maybe link or whatever 1/15 times 3, so 1/5 of your portfolio, and then if you make it to that point, and then it starts to come back down, you still had some link that you never got to sell, but you're able to take the profits from this link that you sold, right, and reinvest it later. So this is the idea, and this is what I typically do. So it's basically just an admission to yourself that no one here is clairvoyant enough to know where the top is. It could be $18 or $18.60, I think it was. Alternatively, it could be $25, or it could be $30. So this is just how generally I play the market. And if you look, right, I mean, if you the primary one I think that's interesting, right, is Link Bitcoin, because you can see that, I mean, this has been our general uptrend, and we have been out of it a few times. I mean, we started out of it right over here. We came out of it in this region, and then we came out of it here. And one of the things we've spoken about at length, right, is the fact that Link has never experienced a real bull run from start to finish, right? It kind of just made its way into the market, right, in late 2017, kind of introduced itself, went up, went back down, called it a day, right? You guys remember back in this region here. So it basically says, okay, I'm Link, I'm going to go up, then I'm going to retrace by 80%. But unlike other coins, I'm going to go ahead and get back to my all-time high by summer of 2019. And I'm going to continue on my merry way. And this is just, I mean, this is basically Link's MO, right? I mean, it tends to go up. And of course, it will retrace. I mean, Link goes up and Link goes down, but primarily Link goes up. So I think the thing is, right, I mean, in terms of a practical perspective on Link, I mean, it's hard to imagine, right, that it's hard to imagine that it's just going to keep on going up like that, right? I mean, I'm not saying it can't happen, but I just think the likelihood that happens is quite low. I mean, you could see, even if it comes maybe up a little bit more, or if it retraces in the meantime and it does something like that, whether it goes up and retraces or retraces now, it still is probably going to continue the general uptrend, right? I mean, this is just business as usual for Link, right? I mean, even if it retraces, what that allows, right, is a retracement against Bitcoin is one of those nice like positional moves, right? It's not financial advice, but it's like a positional move, right? You look at Link, you see, okay, it's getting to the upper end here, and then making a positional move between, say, Link and Bitcoin, not all of it, of course, but maybe a portion of it. And then when it comes back down, which inevitably it probably will come back down some, you re-enter, right? Of course there's tax implications. I'll let you figure out if it's worth it. But this is the general idea. And then with Ethereum, we have to talk about Ethereum. And let's go ahead and put on the regression line so you guys can see it. So again, accumulation region of lifetime, and then we've broken out, right? And we're moving up. I mean, we are moving up significantly. If we take a move here, let's kind of see where we are in the grand scheme here. So you can kind of see that window that we're in, right? If we, you can see that general resistance at around 400 there, around 400, broke through it, came back down and kept going right here. Support here, crashed through it here, a little bit of resistance there, and then now we're back in it. So, I mean, I think this is a decent level for Ethereum, and I think, a move above, if you see Ethereum breaking out, closer to 500, then there's certainly a chance that it could definitely, it could go higher, right? And then we've been talking about for a while now, right, a potential 750 Ethereum sometime in 2020 or 2021. I mean, at this rate, it could be 2020, right? If it continues like this. But looking at somewhere between, say, like a $750 to $900 Ethereum or Ether sometime in, sometime this year or next year. So we've spoken about this move here, right? I mean, we've spoken about the general move up, and we've been in that for a little while now. And what I'm expecting, right? I mean, okay, so there's three things, right? It can go up, it can go down, or it can go sideways. And the things, the thing that would make it go up, right, is if it just continues to outperform Bitcoin. I mean, this is common sense, right? If Ethereum outperforms Bitcoin, then the ratio is going to go up. But the reason why it's important to think about it, right, is if Bitcoin, like, what does that mean? Like, what does it mean? It means that Bitcoin could just do nothing, right? I mean, Bitcoin could just stay at 11.8 or 11.9 or even 12, 12.1, 12.2. It could just stay at these levels and let Ethereum do its thing, right? And if Ethereum's doing its thing, then, you might come out of here and then come back down and then go sideways for a while. Alternatively, if Bitcoin, and we do know they like to dance sometimes, if Bitcoin starts making a move, as we've said, right? I mean, if they do if they're like dance partners and they start dancing again, then we might see this retrace. We might see this come back down, right, to the bottom of the trend line, which currently it's still pretty high. It's 0.028 or so. That doesn't mean that the Ethereum value is bleeding. It might mean that the Ethereum value against Bitcoin is bleeding, which means that maybe Bitcoin's going up to like 14K or something. But what I'm hoping for, right? I mean, I'm hoping that Ethereum goes into speculative bubble FOMO mode. Like, this is what I'm hoping, right? And the reason is because I think that the market cycle is going to be a long one. I think there's going to be times like this where it's euphoric in the market. There's a lot of new eyes to the market. And then there's also going to be these more boring times, right? Where it gets quiet again, and potentially a time where, it maybe it comes up to, I mean, if we're lucky, right? If we're lucky, let's say it does something like that. I mean, we'll see if it happens, right? And then if it comes back down, and then it starts to go sideways for a while, right? This will be a boring time. Despite the fact that we're still up significantly from our lows, there's going to be so many people that got in, right, at like that level or that level or that level, that they're going to be they're going to be the most vocal people, right? They're going to be the most vocal people on the internet. And because they're the most vocal people on the internet, it'll be kind of like all doom and gloom, right? All doom and gloom. Ethereum's at 300 to 400, and people lose sight of what what was before, right? So this is what I'm hoping for, and the reason is because if we go into speculative bubble mode, right, then you can take profits along the way up, something like that. And if it comes back down, into the regression line, right, then it just becomes that reaccumulation phase. That okay, we've made the first move. Now let's pack our bags and get ready for the next move. And there's going to be times during this market cycle where things are probably just going to move sideways for maybe 3 months, maybe 6 months at a time. It's going to be really boring. It's going to be really dull. But those are the times where the real money is made, right? We've talked about it before. Like, bull markets can make you a lot of money, but bear markets can make you rich, right? Because, and the point of that is to say, the people buying at that point right there and then selling right here, okay, they're making some money. But the people who are really getting rich, right, are the people that bought down here, in this region. The people that recognized, okay, this is where the dumb money is capitulating. This is where I get into the market, and this is what we focus on, right? We spend many videos in this region talking about it's boring, we get it, but this is where the real money is made, right? Not once it's happening, not coming into the market for the first time. Once Ethereum's already at 440, when it was at less than 100 a few months ago. The real money's made in the bear market when you're just getting your positions and then you're taking advantages of these bubbles. Because the people buying, say at 500, 600, if it happens, it's going to be hard for them to sell at 700 or 800 because they've only seen like a 20% ROI, right? They've only seen like a small ROI. But for the people who got in at like 100, I mean, you're already up 5 or 6x, right? You know, maybe more, maybe 7 or 8x. So it becomes harder for those people not to sell when you're looking at a potential 10x in a few months, right? So this is I mean, this is just it's the story, it's the name of the game, right? I mean, you guys are familiar with it. Business as usual. Nothing has really changed there. Just kind of giving you guys my outline on the market. I wanted to update the link pattern, right, that we spoke about before. And it, you know, just to remind you, I just want to show you guys where we are in it. So the pattern, if you don't remember, is, and it's probably useless, right? It's probably completely useless, but you know, a move up, let's move sideways, and then down, back up, sideways, and then up. Actually, I messed that up. Let me do it again. So you have to move up, sideways a little bit, down, up, sideways, first pump, correction, second pump, crash. And crash I'm using a little bit loosely, right? I mean, you're still up significantly from this point. Okay, so then, you know, same thing, right? So a move up, kind of going sideways, going down, back up, right clicked. So up, sideways, down, back up, sideways, first pump, correction, second pump. Where's it gonna go? I don't know. Crash, right? So if you look at these moves as we've showed before, so, you know, I mean, okay, so from bottom to top, right? Bottom to top, 300%. Bottom to top here, 200%. We'll just do prices. Okay, then we crashed over here by 70%, crashed over here by 70%, okay? Then we rebounded to a point not quite as high as the former local top. So we came up, and let's just go to the middle region. So about 150% over here, up to about 150-ish. What's a few percentage points among friends? 150%. I move sideways for about 100 days. I move sideways-ish for a little less than 100 days. I move up to the first peak, 250%. Move up. This one was lower, 150, 160%. A retracement of 40%. A retracement of around 30-ish%. So this one's not as pronounced, right? The first peak was 250 compared to 150. This crash was 40 compared to 30. I unfortunately have to delete some of this so that you guys can see what's going on. And then finally, from that bottom to the final peak, that was 450%. And then so far in this one, we're up 200%. So, I think it's anyone's guess, right? It's anyone's guess as to where it's going to be, and recognizing that it could have already happened. But again, I don't think anyone, I mean, who would honestly be surprised if you woke up tomorrow and saw a link at 20 bucks? Like, I mean, no one, I don't think, would really be that surprised if that were to happen. And so this is why, you know, it's kind of like a fool's game to try to predict exactly where the top is going to be. And that's why I just say, you know, you can take profits along the way. One thing you could do, you know, is you could always set like a trailing stop loss, or it doesn't even have to be trailing. You know, you could just manually do it, and you know, you set a stop loss at a certain level, and then if the price goes up, you just raise the stop loss systematically, so that on the chance that it does come back down by 50%, at least you're cashing out, right? You're seeing some of those profits. And I got to tell you guys, I mean, it's a good feeling when you wake up and you see your stop loss was hit at maybe like a level way up here, you know, near the peak or something, and then the current price is down there, and then you could, if you wanted to, you could immediately DCA back into the market and instantly accumulate more of that coin. It's a really good feeling. Now, there's a risk, right? There's no free lunch. There's a risk associated with it, and that risk is well, what if it retraces, it hits your stop loss, and then it just goes up. And this is just something you have to live with, right? This is why we say dynamic DCA. You know, you don't need to sell your entire position. You can sell portions of it, so that if it does go down, at least you sold some of it. Let's look at Bitcoin for a minute, and then I will get over to the chat. Oh my gosh, that fly is back. I feel like there's like a fly that lives at my desk. All right, here it is for Bitcoin. The top of this is at around 13,244. So I mean, a little bit a ways to go. The bottom is around the 200-week moving average. If we plot on the 200-week, you can see it there. So the bottom of the regression line is basically corresponding to the 200-week. And as we showed before, you know, when that happened, we didn't actually drop to the 200-week. Instead, we held the 20-week moving average as support, right? Let me just go ahead and add it on. So we'll go ahead and add on 20 weeks. So we have both the 200 and the 20 week. Okay. So last cycle, right? When this crossed, Bitcoin fell to the 20 week. So this is, you know, again, there's nothing magical about it, right? But just noting that at this point, this is when Bitcoin fell to the 20 week, okay? Going to present day, you can see we're getting close to it. But also remember that the 200-week moving average did not come back into the regression line. Let's draw exactly where it came in. Came in right here. Right there. Go up. Is that not, I mean, is it not interesting, like, that the point that the 200-week moving average crossed back into the regression line was identically the week of the Bitcoin peak? I mean, I think it's interesting. So then going to present day, right? We're looking at a potential cross. If things were to repeat, right? If history were to repeat itself, let's project here a little bit, right? So let's carry out. We know that 200 weeks is going to start increasing a little bit here, and if you're not familiar with why, if you go to a measured move from the present day, and you go back, let's go back 1,400 days, right? So 200 weeks. So 200 weeks here, you're basically okay. So you're replacing weeks over here that were at like $600 with weeks that are at $12,000. So the 200-week moving average is really going to start moving here. So because of that, let's just be somewhat conservative and extend it out like that, or let's say something like that. So then it's gonna, it'll be around $7,500 by the end of the year. The regression line is certainly not going to change. I'm not going to refit that. So you can imagine that, maybe these are going to cross at some point, either the fourth quarter of this year or the first quarter of next year. So if it happens, in the next couple months, that could, if history were to repeat itself, that could correspond to the move to the 20-week. And the 20-week is increasing as well. So, by the time, if Bitcoin comes up to this level and retraces to the 20-week, the 20-week could be 11K at that point, right? But the 20-week is ultimately what we want to hold, in my opinion, right? And that's just by looking at historical data and seeing that even in a bull market, when you see these 30% crashes, it tends to hold support on the 20-week moving average, right? Time and time again. So it's not a matter of if we're going to go to the 20-week, it's just a matter of when, right? We know we're going to go to the 20-week at some point, and that will be the real test. I think, in my opinion, that will be the real test of the bull market. Like, is the bull market officially here, or are we going to drop back down below the 20-week and go maybe back down to the 200-week and then try again, kicking the can down the road in a sense. So this is just my, just some food for thought, right? And then I also wanted to remind you of this, of this thing we've pointed out before as well, and that is the tip. And this is what I made a video about this the other day, but it's noting, that a typical buy in December. So let's highlight our December buys. Here, this is against Bitcoin. These are the December buys, and then realizing an Ethereum return against Bitcoin in the first quarter that yielded a significant return every single December capitulation. Okay, so every single time. Some of them are more impressive than others, right? But every single time you're looking at least 50% against Bitcoin, sometimes almost 1800% against Bitcoin. So with that in mind, right? With that in mind, let's just be a little bit pragmatic and say, you know what? If it were to repeat, we don't know that it would, but if it were and we see a bubble, let's be prepared. I'll be taking profits. Hopefully we come back down, capitulate back into, say, maybe the reaccumulation region, and it gives us another great December buy that then we bounce off of and continue on our way, right? So it's certainly a possibility. Maybe I'm being a little bit too optimistic and thinking that Ethereum's going to continue this and go into a speculative bubble, but it's what I would really like to see, right? Because I like taking advantage of speculative bubbles when they happen, because it's nice to take profits, right? It's nice to take those profits. So we're certainly going to follow that. And let me know if you guys have any questions. Before I jump into the questions, I'll just remind you that if you guys like the analysis and you want access to the premium list, you can check out my website, intothecryptoverse.com, and you'll get access to a weekly premium report, a weekly premium video, a Telegram alerts channel where I talk about, these momentum shifts in the market, potentially positional trades. It's not financial advice. There's also a chat room associated with that alerts channel. Also a Google Sheets risk dashboard that you can use. This is what I use to make my trades. And then a dynamic DCA selling strategy for Bitcoin and Ethereum, given, obviously anonymously, given what you think the peak is going to be, and then given what, how much of that coin that you hold. So check it out. You can also, if you don't want to sign up on the website, I haven't talked about it in a while, but you can always sign up on Patreon. I do have a Patreon, so you can just sign up right there if you would prefer to sign up on a site that maybe you've used before. And just a reminder that the prices will be going up in a few weeks. So if you want to get the discount, then make sure you sign, or the lower price, and get grandfathered in, then make sure you sign up before that happens. And you can always pay for 6 or 12 months and get a discount with crypto. I think 12 months you get like a 15% discount. So check it out. And with that, I will also remind you that we do have a Telegram channel. So I would appreciate it if you guys check out the Telegram channel if you have any questions, okay? Which I'll put there. And then, I don't talk about it a whole lot, but we also do have a Discord channel. And let me see if I can get it. So I'm going to put the link to the Discord in the chat as well. So if you guys want to check out the Discord, it's not as active as the Telegram, but if you prefer Discord, there is a Into the Cryptoverse community that that you can be a part of on Discord if you prefer Discord over Telegram. And Bernoulli, I agree, there's too many platforms. I personally prefer Telegram over Discord, but there are people, the Discord's not new, right? I've had it basically since I had the Telegram. It's just that I prefer Telegram, so I'm mainly in Telegram. But for those who prefer Discord, there is a Discord community. No news yet on the banner competition. I just, crypto is, crypto is just kind of crazy right now, so it's hard for me to focus on that, but I will get to it as soon as crypto calms down. I promise I'll get to it when crypto calms down. So, let's see, where's Bitcoin at? So Bitcoin's still at 11.8. If it holds this, right, if you see it, if you just see it holding 11.8, then, I mean, you know, this is, I mean, if Bitcoin's going to move, you know, it can go ahead and move. If it doesn't move, then it's given the green light to Ethereum again, right? And this is actually what I would want. I mean, I kind of like it when things become very overvalued or undervalued compared to Bitcoin because it makes trading it easier, right? So if Bitcoin wants to move above 12K, you know, now's a good time. The next couple of days is a good time. If it doesn't, but it holds this level, then look for the Ethereum Bitcoin ratio to continue going up because Ethereum, given the green light from Bitcoin, it will likely just continue to go up. A lot of people are asking about ADA. Here's the ADA Ether chart. So ADA versus Ethereum. I've showed this a few times on the channel. Just kind of noting the bottom that we had for a while. Noting, you know, we had some tops in this region, right? And then we're back into the, you know, that primary, you know, this region right here. So I don't know if we're going to come back down to this region or not, but at least it's not up here, right? I mean, at least it's not up here at the present time. I mean, in fact, from the peak, it is it's around 43% down. And for those who follow the premium list, right, I sold, and I told everyone, I sold part of my ADA to Ethereum, you know, around that peak. It's just looking at the risk levels. Someone said, can you purchase more than 1 month with credit cards? So if you, yeah, you can. If you want to, just reach out to me through email or through Telegram or something. Because I'll have to manually do it. Someone says, do you think that Bitcoin will go back down to the 200-week moving average before it peaks? I don't know. I mean, I don't think that it has to. I think it's possible, right? I always say, you know, we don't necessarily seek out the 200-week moving average during times like these, but you must be ready for it if it happens. I think there's a decent chance that it doesn't revisit it, but at the same time, it's not like I would be that surprised if it did. So what other questions? Someone wants to see the link Ethereum chart, so let's go ahead and pull that up. Oops. So I'll do a link. Oh, whoops. Link Ethereum. Link Ether. So here you go. Not a very surprising look. I mean, we know that the link has been outperforming Bitcoin. So yeah, I mean, this is the 1 day link Ethereum chart. Pretty attractive chart, right? I mean, I don't really think there's like a clear trend line you can draw. I mean, it looks like it looks kind of something like that, right? Or if I can maybe draw it a little bit better, something like that. And the reason it looks like that, right, is because while, you know, during the bear market, Link was outperforming basically everything. So it doesn't look like it's going to continue. It might not continue at that rate. Like maybe it's like a regression, a logarithmic regression curve, you know, and it maybe continues to go up against Ethereum, but not as quickly. Because now in the bear market, Ethereum is going down and Link was going up. But if Link is going up and Ethereum is going up, then it's probably going to be harder for Link to stay at that, you know, moving up that quickly, right? Sorry, I'm just going to take a minute to see if I can find any trolls in the chat. Usually I use live streams as opportunities to get rid of some trolls. Midtown Cabinetry and Designs. I love that advertising. It's really good marketing, right? Midtown Cabinetry and Designs. Maybe sometime I'll have to Google that. It says, have you staked any of your ADA? Yes, I have. There's a fly next to me. Wish I could get it. Well, it would be interesting, right? I mean, if 18 were the top, it would be interesting because, you know, I've been taking profits along the way, and that was one of the levels. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. Slippery Fish says Litecoin has been falling more and rising less on runs. Any thoughts on its price action? Yeah, we've talked about Litecoin a lot, and as many people here know, I do not own any Litecoin, and the reason, right? It's not a secret. It's just that Litecoin tends to do well. Let me get a chart that goes further back. See, the thing is I hardly ever look at Litecoin charts, so I don't know which one's the best. Maybe pull an X. Okay, so remember, Litecoin, you know, when Bitcoin got above the 20 week in early 2016 or in late 2015, so it was in October. So Bitcoin got above the 20 week in October, and Litecoin didn't really do anything, right? And it didn't do anything until Bitcoin, until the first quarter of 2017. So the first quarter of 2017. And we know that the first quarter of 2017, right, was when Bitcoin got to its previous all-time high. So it was in let me just show you guys instead of taking my word for it. So if you draw a trend over, right, when it passed it, it was in the first quarter of 2016, or the first quarter of 2017, and that is when Litecoin took off, right? And if we let me pull up a Litecoin Bitcoin chart. So if you pull up a Litecoin Bitcoin chart, as we've said many times, you look at 2016, Bitcoin was above the 20 week. Yeah, Litecoin saw a move a little bit and everyone's raving about it, right? And then it came up 30%, but guess what? It continued its trend against Bitcoin, right? It made the major move when Bitcoin got to its previous all-time high. This was the major move. And I warned people about this, right? I mean, I said it a few days ago. And I was getting a lot of trolling messages too from people saying, you know, basically from people looking at this and saying, you know, haha, you don't own Litecoin. And you know, 46%. I mean, a lot of other coins have drastically outperformed Litecoin. And I feel like people really need to think about opportunity cost, right? You have to consider opportunity costs. My impression is that, and I could be wrong, right? I reserve the right to be wrong. My impression is that, you know, I mean, so this is 2017. My impression is that this trend is more likely to occur than this being the bottom and then it going up from here against Bitcoin, right? This is what I think. I could be wrong, right? There's a good chance I could be wrong. But I think that at some point, right? I mean, imagine Bitcoin does get to its previous all-time high, you know, and let's look at this. So let's draw a rectangle, and we're gonna go like right here. Okay, so that region, let's color it green as kind of like a buy region. And then you note that you kind of have, okay, so there's that, there's that capitulation. So I'll come back to this in a minute. We've talked about with Bitcoin the idea of it getting to a sustainable $20,000 in another 14 months or so. So maybe the end of 2021, beginning of 2022. A lot of you guys are probably going to think like that sounds absurd, that Bitcoin is going to go to 20K immediately. And admittedly, it could. If it does, I think it would hold it as resistance and then come back down and then maybe break it later on, something like that. So if it breaks it in, say, late 2021, early 2022, let's go back to our Litecoin chart. So in terms of Litecoin, where could Litecoin see that breakout that you guys want to see? Well, I would be inclined to think that this pattern would be the one that plays out more likely. And then you finally have another capitulation against Bitcoin when Bitcoin goes to 20K, and then it goes up, okay? That's what I'm waiting for. Now, if I'm wrong, then, and Litecoin goes up now, then so be it, right? I miss out on it. I don't want it in my portfolio right now. I've seen, significant gains with ADA, Ethereum, Link, Bitcoin. If I miss out on the Litecoin run, it is what it is, right? But in terms of just looking at the data, I would want to see something like this. And if we come back down into this region, right, around the time Bitcoin gets to its previous all-time high, then this is what would make me consider, not necessarily do it, but consider getting a Litecoin position with some Bitcoin, converting some of it in the short term to hopefully see this type of a move. So I hope I answered your question. Someone said you're on Litecoin USD. I mean, I was also doing it on Litecoin Bitcoin just a minute ago. You can see it here. Same thing, right? I mean, it's the same thing. It's going from the peak in 2017, well, 2018, just going down. It looks really similar, right? And noting that, while everyone's all up in arms that move happened, and I'm just thinking like, look at the bigger picture, right? I mean, this move happened as well. I think it's more likely that the trend is going to continue until Bitcoin gets to its previous all-time high. That's my opinion. It's just my opinion. Some guy says, hi, I converted a portion of my Ethereum into Link. Your thoughts? I mean, I guess it depends on at what point you converted it, I guess. And again, I'm not just trying to hate on Litecoin, right? It's not like I'm against Litecoin. I mean, part of it is I think there's a lot of other coins in the market that would have a much higher ROI than Litecoin. And if you calculate out your efficient frontier, using a least squared method and calculating the maximum Sharpe ratio, Litecoin is not part of that portfolio. So, I mean, it's just, that's what it is. That's what the data says. It's not what Ben says. It's what the data says. So it's more like looking at these longer term trends and saying, you know what, I don't want to be sitting in Litecoin a long time because I recognize that it tends to go down against Bitcoin. But if we get to a key milestone of Bitcoin, noting that was what last time fueled the next Litecoin move, then I would consider it, right? It's all about timing it, right? And the thing is, right, if you sit in Litecoin and you watch it go down against Bitcoin for so many years, and then you finally see it go up a little bit, is that really a reason to celebrate, right? I mean, you saw it go down. You want to be selling it at the peaks and then waiting for those key times in Bitcoin's history to get back in so you can just profit on your, just continue to build those profits. This is the goal, not to just sit in an asset that is bleeding against Bitcoin for 3 years. CO Kyle or SEO Kyle, I don't know, says, why don't you have XRP in your portfolio? So I'm not going to go through it because I've spoken about it many times, but it's literally the exact same reasoning as XRP. It's the exact same reasoning. Hey, if you guys could like the video, we only have like 100 likes. Let's try to get it to at least 200. I mean, I think what's going on right now with Bitcoin and Ethereum is Ethereum is sitting. Some people are moving some Ethereum to Bitcoin, but Bitcoin hasn't made the move yet, right? And the idea is, again, as I said earlier, this is the time for it to make a move. If it sits at this level for a couple days, then Ethereum's probably going to leave it behind again and continue moving up against Bitcoin, right? Probably continue that move. So I would just watch out for, if Bitcoin becomes stagnant, it's basically the green light to Ethereum. Polar Roller says, I've held XRP for 2 years. It has done nothing. Right. I mean, this is the thing. Like, just learn your lesson, right? If you see it go, if you see XRP go up again at a key Bitcoin milestone, just like, not financial advice, but what I would do is I would take my profits and run for the hills, right? I mean, metaphorically speaking. A reminder that you guys should check out the Telegram channel. We do have about 5,300 people, so if you're wanting to discuss crypto with 5,300 of your closest friends, you can check out that Telegram channel. Someone said, will you do any analysis on EOS? No, probably not. Someone says, what do you think the probability of Cardano surpassing Ethereum market cap? Probably not very high. I mean, I think it's probably not very high that would happen. I think there's probably like a 90% chance that it doesn't happen. Probably like a 95% chance that it doesn't happen. Actually, probably even higher. I mean, like, I think that Cardano could take could grab some of the market share, but I don't think that it's necessarily going to outperform Ethereum, or at least overtake Ethereum's market cap. If it ever did go above it, it probably would just be a bubble, right? Probably not this market cycle anyways. I mean, there's still a lot for Cardano to prove. There's still a lot for Ethereum to prove as well. But I think Cardano has to prove that people are actually going to use it to build, use that technology to build on top of. Whereas Ethereum's kind of already shown that, and there's already got a lot of activity there. Cardano has a long way to go. Someone said, do you like learning ideas in theoretical physics? Yes. My PhD is in nuclear engineering. I did a minor in physics in undergrad. I was 2 classes away from a major, but I got in grad school, so I just said, oh, well, I'm not going to get the major, I'll just get the minor. My major was in math in undergrad. My PhD was in engineering. Blind Towel says, how often does Ben host live talks on YouTube? Is it scheduled? No, they're not scheduled. It's just kind of random. They're more likely to be on the weekends than the weekdays, though. Siva Abundance says, what's your most bullish projection for Link top when Bitcoin also tops in 2023ish? Well, that is a good question. Maybe if we get to 300 likes, I'll tell you my opinion. I like how when I said that, I lost a like. Matthew says, Ethereum Bitcoin chart. Yeah, we've been talking about it, right? I mean, my hope is that we see a speculative bubble of Ethereum against Bitcoin. This is my hope, so that we can take advantage of DCAing that move. That's my hope. We'll see what happens. I mean, basically what I'm thinking, right, is if it does go into speculative bubble mode, it'll come back up here and then come back down into the reaccumulation phase and then continue on. And then maybe December would be a good time to accumulate again for another January, February, March rally. Someone said on the Link Ethereum chart, it bounces at the 150-day moving average. I guess we'll plot it on here and see what he's talking about. Maybe he's right. I don't know. Okay, so here's the 150-day. So kind of have it in here. Fell below, maybe a little bit of support. Ish, went below. What's a few pennies among friends? Support here, guys. Yeah, I can see it. You know, all these support levels in here. Most recently there. And then if we were to come back down to it, it would be at the present value, but assuming this would continue to go up, right? Like that. If we were to come back down to it, maybe it would happen at, I don't know, 0.025. So 0.025, right? So if Ethereum, well, I mean, Ethereum's probably not going to stay the same. But if it did, and Ethereum was at 440, then that would put Link at $11. So Link going down to the 150-day moving average, like someone pointed out in the chat, I can't remember who it was, would be an $11 Link if Ethereum stayed at its current level, and this projection were at all accurate. Someone said, did you guys look at Tesla? I went out to dinner and just came back. I know that Tesla announced the split the other day, right? They're going to split it 1-5, which tends to make the stock rally a little bit in the short term. Maybe even in the long term. Don't worry, we'll come back to crypto. I know some of you guys get antsy when I start talking about things that aren't crypto. So Tesla's at 1650. This was our regression top back, a few weeks ago in this region. So you can see it's coming back up into the regression band, currently at around 1650 or so. I mean, this move here happened right after they announced the 1 to 5 split, right? So for every Tesla stock you hold, I think is it August 31st? I can't remember, but for every stock you hold, you're going to get 5, right? And they're following some of the other ones that are doing something similar that also saw an increase in valuation. Yeah. I'm just looking at see if anything's happening in the market. Not a whole lot right now. Someone said if Bitcoin starts rising, would Ethereum go static? I think that Ethereum would maybe rise a little bit, but it probably wouldn't keep pace with Bitcoin if Bitcoin really starts to move, right? If it's going to 14K in the short term, then Ethereum's probably not going to keep up. But if Bitcoin really slowly gets to 14K over the next, say, 4 months, then Ethereum's probably going to outpace it by a mile. Yeah, a lot of people like it when I just briefly touch on gold and silver. Let's pull up the gold-silver ratio. So yeah, this is, whoops, let's remove the Tesla command. So this is that gold-silver ratio here we talked about, right? Our primary channel. Let's switch it to a monthly view. This is the gold-silver ratio, right? And noticing that, tends to be kind of a bottom-ish, huge undervaluation, right? Top, huge overvaluation, and then we said over here, right, that we're probably gonna slowly come back down, right? And this is the gold-silver ratio, which means that if it is coming back down, then silver is likely going to be gaining valuation against gold over the next several years. This is my impression, right? This is what I think. It's not financial advice, but it's what I think would happen. Crypto Beaver says, if Ethereum's 1 market cycle behind Bitcoin, would you consider alts like ADA and Link to be 2 cycles behind Bitcoin? Yeah, I said something like that earlier, but it's not so clear cut, right? I mean, the coin has to prove itself. Like it has to take hold of the market. There's going to be plenty of coins that aren't going to be that are they're new, but they're not going to follow in Bitcoin's footsteps just because they're worthless, like most cryptocurrencies out there. Link, I could definitely see it being an ADA potentially as well. And remember, they still have a lot to prove, but we'll see. I think there's a chance, right? I think there's a chance. Questing we're going into a theoretical physics discussion. I'm not sure why. All right, what else do we have? You guys have any more questions? Just a friendly reminder to check out the premium list if you want access to the exclusive content. The alerts channel is, I think the alerts channel is probably the most popular thing, and the weekly premium video, so check it out. Prices are going to go up soon. You can also pay on patreon.com/intothecryptoverse if you would prefer to do that. Do we have any more questions? Can we get some more likes? We're not even at 250 yet. Someone says about your Litecoin analysis, since when do descending triangles tend to go up? I don't know what you're talking about, man. I'm not drawing descending triangles. I think if you want to draw triangles, go to a different channel. If you want to change from Patreon to crypto payments, just cancel your Patreon and then sign up on the website. You'll give me a like for about 350. Markets are still pretty stagnant at the moment. I don't really want to look at EOS. I just don't. Let me know if you guys have any more questions that are not just spam questions. Just Eric says, I just have one question. When Moon, we hold ourselves to a higher standard here. We would prefer to call it meeting at the Sea of Tranquility. The Sea of Tranquility, which is on the moon. Yeah, I mean, we've talked about the Bitcoin dominance chart before, right? Let's pull it up. So, I mean, this is the Bitcoin dominance chart, as we've drawn many times. And then, you know, I mean, this one doesn't go all the way back, but let me switch over to a weekly view, actually. So, generally speaking, okay. So generally speaking, you know, I don't feel like this, well, yeah, this isn't, I don't feel like it's not going back. I mean, I guess when I draw it, I go back all the way, to 2011 because I have the data, but on here it doesn't go all the way back. Um, but generally speaking, right? If this is the trend, and this is the bubble, right? So this is the bubble. Um, is this right? I don't know that this is. I don't know. It just seems a little off to me. But anyways, I mean, whether it's right or not, I mean, this is the bubble, right? This is the altcoin bubble, and we're continuing on that general trend. And then at some point, right, when Bitcoin moves to 20K, whenever that is, Bitcoin dominance would likely go up. And then once he gets to 20K, it'll probably go down. Once he gets to his not the 20 week, well, yeah, or 20K, yeah, once he gets to 20K, it'll go up, and then it'll likely go down. Then maybe back up when it goes to like 100K or something, and then maybe one final move down, and then back up, overcorrection, and then back into the general trend, something like that. I think, and then if some people have a hard time visualizing the speculative bubble, so here's the altcoin dominance. So here you can see the bubble, right? You see the bubble. You see the kind of comes up, down, peak, dead cat bounce, capitulation, delusion, right? And then maybe it slowly continues to go up, see another peak, then a higher peak, back down, something like that. This is the altcoin. I'm just taking the inverse of it. Just Eric says, how come there's no tip button? If you want a tip, just join the premium list. And if you don't want to join the premium list, then go invest it. You don't need to tip me. I suspect you just don't need a tip button. Yeah, I mean, don't tip me. Don't worry about it. I might need to hop off soon because we're getting close to 300 likes. Irvin says, do you think Ethereum will gain dominance long term on Bitcoin or surpass it compared to the last market cycle? I think it will gain dominance on Bitcoin. I don't know that it'll overtake it in terms of, I don't think it'll take it as number one, but if it does, it'll probably be short-lived, is my opinion. Jack, I don't know why people spam the channel. Like, well, do you guys wanna wrap it up there? I mean, I feel like we've kind of run the gamut here. I mean, Link is sitting around $16. I mean, Ethereum's got to be sitting around 138, 139. Bitcoin still at 11.8. You know, Litecoin, since it happens to be up, yeah, around 57. And then the ratio of Ethereum to Bitcoin is slowly climbing, right? So I hope you guys enjoyed the stream. Remember to check out the Telegram channel if you have not checked it out yet, right? So you can check that out. I'll put it in the chat. And and yeah, just a reminder, if you want access to the premium list, you can always go to the website intothecryptoverse.com. You can get a discount if you pay with crypto. The prices are going to be going up soon. You'll get access to a weekly premium video, a weekly premium report, a Telegram channel with alerts, a chat room, a private chat room,